How did Moses write the Torah? Was he literate? Whole Why Moses and the Leaky Torah by Michael R. Birch. Moses did not write the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, namely Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Here's how we know Moses did not write the Torah, also known as the books of Moses and the Pentateuch. First, I will give 7 common sense reasons, followed by 13 unlucky reasons for people of faith. Common sense case number 1. What indisputable evidence would 2 to 3 million people have left after 40 years in the desert? Forget pottery shards, trinkets, lost coins, and spearheads. 2 to 3 million people would have left hundreds of thousands of graves and skeletons. And yet nothing like that exists, despite extensive efforts by Jewish and Christian archaeologists to find proof of the Exodus. Why is there no such evidence? Because the Exodus never happened. Although there are related archaeological facts, given later, that confirm there never was an Exodus, this simple fact is sufficient if we just use plain old common sense. Common sense case number 2. Moses went unmentioned outside the Bible for 1,000 years after his alleged lifetime, circa 1400 BCE, according to the averaged opinions of experts. But if Moses had led a ragtag group of weaponless slaves to an astounding victory over the mighty Egyptian empire, while killing a pharaoh in the process, Moses would have been the talk of the ancient world. Think of Leonidas, Spartacus, and Joan of Arc. Common sense will then confirm the obvious. Everyone pulls for the underdog, especially when the overdog has been slapping you around. Egypt was the regional bully, and all the nations that had been bullied by Egypt would have celebrated such an ignominious defeat at the hands of scurvy weaponless slaves. And thus we would know the name of the pharaoh in question, which the Bible suspiciously fails to mention despite naming many lesser kings. And yet no one mentioned Moses outside the Bible for nearly 1,000 years. The earliest reference to Moses outside the Bible appears in the Egyptian history of Hecataeus of Abdera, a Greek historian of the 4th century BCE. That is a 1,000-year time gap, and when Hecataeus finally mentioned Moses, he was obviously quoting rumors he had heard rather than citing actual history. Common sense case number 3. Furthermore, none of the prophets mention Moses inside the Bible for 1,000 years after his alleged day, until the time of the later written prophetic books, such as Ezra, Nehemiah, and Daniel. Apparently, the most ancient prophets had never heard of Moses, which seems unfathomable if he had actually provided the law and led the Exodus. Thus, we have matching 1,000-year gaps between the time Moses first appears outside the Bible and when he first appears inside the Bible according to the prophets.